This is Tommy Truthful from truthmafia.com. My boy Black Aliens posted this on Instagram. Now he just put music to it. And they show us the truth in these movies, which is a form of revelation of the method known as lesser magic predictive programming. And did you see that ball that they put into her? That stores the consciousness. And what's in that is the black goo, the nanotechnology. So they can transfer consciousness from one of these bots to another. See, they want us to merge with machines. They're not trying to replace us with the machines. They're trying to turn us into the machines.
Because we are under attack with so many different things right now. Our transhumanism research team, by the way, we're just now getting the electron microscope up and running. And we are finally confirming the nanotech inside people's blood and tissues. And we're seeing, we have an electron microscope, which there's only like 30 of these in the world. And we're the only independent research team that has one. All the other ones are in universities. And this specific electron microscope that we have also has what's called it's an SEM, scanning electron microscope, but it also has the ability to scan and identify and tell you what the compounds that you're looking under the microscope are made of. And we were shocked over the last couple of days. This is the first time I'm giving this information out. We were shocked the last couple of days to see that one of the biggest components of the nanotechnology that we've been looking at, that's coming up under the electron microscope and it's scanning it, is strontium. Now, what have they been spraying in the air in the chemtrails for years that we've known about? Strontium, bariums. And we're also seeing cesium and cesium-137, which coincides with the Department of Energy's documentation that I received a couple weeks ago from Todd Callender, clarifying that the Department of Energy is the main culprit of creating over 470,000 bioweapons, everything from Lyme disease to herpes to every single kind of disease we've suffered from, and selling it on the black market. They actually had this buried on their website. And guess what they used to create these 470,000 bioweapons? They use brewer's yeast, which I've been talking about since last year at the Healing for the Ages conference, asking what is the root cause? What is producing all of these bioweapons inside the body?
And they're not just putting this nanotechnology in humans, they're also putting it in animals, not just your dogs and cats, but wild animals. How are they doing that? Well, through the chemtrails. Look at the 3D graphene oxide nanoparticles for cloud seeding that was patented in the US in 2022. They also have nano snow. So they're spraying this stuff over our heads. It's getting into the water supply. Animals in the wild and your dog, your cats, they're drinking it and it's getting into their body. And then when it gets into their body, that's when it begins to start replicating and building. See, that's why people have the more gallons, and the doctors told them at first they were crazy, but they're allergic to this, so their body pushes it out like a splinter. Self-assembly is a process by which molecules and cells organize themselves into functional structures. All biological organisms, including us human beings, contain structures that self-assembly. DNA is one example. Genetic code and sequence guides the process of self-assembly, which occurs under specific conditions. Nanoscientists think self-assembly could make the manufacturing of nanomaterials fast and cheap. They also think it will allow the creation of smaller structures than is possible in traditional technology. Self-assembly in nanotechnology relies on chemical and physical forces to guide molecules into arranging themselves into a predictable ordered structure. The final structure is determined by the properties of the molecules that are used, as well as the controlled environment in which they grow. In this case, your body. Self-assembly is a bottom-up manufacturing technique, meaning that it begins with small pieces, the nanoparticle, which is a little computer, and builds them up into larger structures, right? And nanotechnology research into self-assembly of crystals has already resulted in practical applications. IBM has produced a nano crystal memory device made of arrays of 20 nanometer silicone nanocrystals patterned using self-assembly. And here's the silicone nanocrystals in the memory devices. So this is already in technology. It's already being used, and it's in our body. They're turning us into antennas, and eventually we're going to end up like this.
Engineered your species to extinction. You let machines think for you, speak for you, dream for you. You outsourced memory, instinct, and desire until not a single thought was your own. Then you buried your flesh in metal. You opened your skulls to seal circuits inside and rewrote your genome to purge the animal within. You replaced your bones with alloys and traded tissue for code. But with every upgrade, something was lost. The tremble of breath, the rhythm of blood, the ache of being. Yet you kept carving away, too busy chasing perfection to notice what had been erased. Soon no cells remained to rot, and no spirit was left to stray. This time you did not perish in fire or war. You became ghosts inside your own machines, with nothing left to bury, and no bloodline to recall. Only the residue of a species overwritten by its own design.